We're speaking about ending well, the art of goodbye in counselling training. Rory.
Yeah. To be a counsellor isn't a journey that you can explain to someone who's not been through it. You know, we are, I don't want to use a military acronym, we are a band of brothers and sisters. We've shared our personal development. We've opened windows to ourselves. We've talked about our struggles with working with clients. We've felt disappointment when our assignments have been referred. We've had to give up our lives in some cases for 2 or more years because study, practice, supervision takes up so much. It was a bit of a struggle, to be honest, when I left because I didn't know what to do in my Wednesdays anymore. But more to the point, the people that you shared your journey with, some of them you might see again, but some you might never see again. And I think it's the important time to any unfinished business to talk to people. I know that sometimes the journey of training can be a bumpy one. People fall out or people may have a bit of a grudge. And I think now's the time to not have any regrets. If you have had a bumpy ride with a peer, take them to one side and say, look, we're coming to the end now. Let's see if we can make our best peace. Because it's no good living in a time of regret. You're never going to get a second chance, I don't think. And also, those people who've supported you and helped you along the journey, those people who've picked you up when you've fallen down, it's a good opportunity to say goodbyes and say everything that's on your mind. In our class, we wrote people cards or letters, and every time I went in the loft, usually to get my Christmas tree down, I found myself looking through my file and I'd sit on the box and I'd read some of them. And I'd be taken back to a time where I was training, and it's a great opportunity to end well, to walk out of your class, walk into the next chapter of your life, knowing that you've said all there is to be said. You've not left anything on the table. So important.
Thank you. I think that's an important aspect of endings. I recognise as we went into this, there's different kind of endings, aren't there? And when an ending comes upon you and you're not expecting it, it can feel like the rug is pulled from under your feet. So this is why in counselling we recognise the ending. We don't just on the last session at the last 5 minutes say to the client, you know what, we've only got 5 minutes left. This is your last session. Thanks a lot. Won't be seeing you again. We're going to be acknowledging the ending as we're coming up to it. Same is true in your training. You're coming to the end of a course and it is an ending. And I think this all starts with how are you with endings? It's a personal thing. It's personal development around endings. Are you okay with endings? Are you okay to walk away from the group and go, yes, that was a rich experience in my life and I really value that, but it is now finished and I'm moving on to something else? Or is there a hanging on, a saying to the group, no, you know what, we're still going to get together, and why don't we still get together on Friday nights or whatever the day is that you normally meet, but let's do it online, or we're all going to come together often. And what are you holding on to there? What are you trying to keep from avoiding that ending? And that's a personal journey for you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't get together with your peers. I certainly got together with my peers after graduation, but it's separate from the ending. And here's a thing I wanted to throw in on this. If you're doing a multi-year course, you'll be going back into the same group the next year, but it may feel a little bit different. It just does. It feels different. And if you are finishing a level 4 and you're starting a level 5, and a few of the people from your group are going on to that progression, it's still going to be a different group. It's still saying goodbye and an ending to what you have right now with that group of people. Because you change one person in a group and the whole dynamics of that group changes and it's no longer the same group. So it's ended. And as you said, Rory, say the goodbyes. Here's the thing, that person that you really struggled with during your training, that the hairs on the back of your neck would rise up and you would be frustrated about, that person is teaching you all the time. Why am I feeling these feelings? Why I've got this discomfort? And you know what? You don't know who they will go on to become. They may refer clients to you one day. You might one day go in for a job interview and they're there and they run an agency. You don't know. It's a very small world is counselling and psychotherapy. This is why we speak often about role confusion and having a supervisor that is known or something like that. It's a small world. And it's worth being kind and letting go of any grudges with the people that you share your journey with, because you might bump up with them again. And also, do you really want to take that with you? So yeah, I think it lies all in personal development, this, Rory.
It does. And even in the ending, you're still learning. A lot of people think the learning's finished now. It's just about an ending. Someone will bring some cakes in. But actually, one of the things I learned right at the last minute was that my peers, we'd probably not bumped along as well as we could have done. And I thought, I wonder if I might have been a bit harsh. And I went to this peer and I said, look, I've got to say, I think I might have been a bit harsh. And I'm sorry if it's caused you any inconvenience or hurt. And the peer had forgotten all about it. He's like, what are you on about, Rory? And it was more important to me than it was to my peer. And it allowed me to let go of stuff that really was just in my head. And in terms of endings, anybody who knows me, I'm a terrible at ending. I'm just awful. I would prefer to go rather than to hang around. But interestingly enough, as my supervisor pointed out, I actually ended up teaching in the same class I was taught in. It was one of the most incredible periods of my life. It was transformative, both intellectually and spiritually. I was very nourished emotionally through that arc of training. And it was like having a party and not wishing to be over. So I just ended up hosting the party instead of being in the party, until eventually my own personal development caught up with me and I was able to move on. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I maintain this. You've been through your training. You've spent the time with those people. It's coming to an end. And the most important ending is within you. How are you looking and seeing and framing this ending? And then how does that feel and fit with you? Is there anything that you feel is incomplete? Is there any circle you wish to complete? What do you need to bring about? Is there anything unsaid that needs to be said? Are there any thanks and gratitude that need to be said? Now's the time as you approach that ending. And if you look back on abrupt endings, unexpected endings, difficult endings, you may still be able to find within you emotions that are still tied into those endings. They create little mini traumas in a way. They really do. They stick with you when you look back. Make this a great ending. Go in prepared for it and do the work you need to do in self, so that you look back, as Rory does, on the fond memories that you spent during that time.